Today, we're taking a deep dive into a new law in the Indian state of Maharashtra. And this one, well, it steps right into the very personal territory of faith, marriage, and individual choice. It's a bill that puts the government's goal of protecting religious freedom head to head with our fundamental personal liberties, and it has absolutely sparked a huge debate. So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll get into what the bill officially says it wants to do. Then we'll walk through the brand new, very strict rules for religious conversion. After that, we'll look at the pretty serious consequences for not following those rules, understand the government's side of the story, and finally, unpack the big debate at the heart of it all. And really, this is the fundamental question, isn't it? The Maharashtrian government says this bill is all about stopping people from being forced into a new religion and protecting their freedom. But critics, they argue it does the exact opposite, that it actually clamps down on your personal liberty, your right to choose your own faith, and even who you marry. All right, so let's start with the official line. What exactly is the problem that the government says this bill is here to solve? Okay, the key thing to notice here is the specific wording. The law's official purpose isn't to ban religious conversion completely. Nope, it specifically goes after what it calls unlawful conversion. Conversions that happen because of force or deception or any other kind of fraud. So if the law is all about stopping unlawful conversions, what does a lawful one look like now? Let's walk through the new process. It's a bit of a journey. Basically, what used to be a deeply personal decision is now a formal, bureaucratic process. An individual has to go file an official paper saying they intend to convert. Then they have to wait for 60 days, a mandatory waiting period. Only after that's over can they actually go through with the conversion and file another declaration confirming it's done. Now, this is a huge change. The law really widens the circle of who can file a police complaint about an unlawful conversion. It's not just the person who converted anymore. Now it can be their parents, their siblings, or really any other relative, whether by blood, marriage, or even adoption. And the law doesn't stop there. It reaches directly into marriage. If a court decides that a marriage happened for the sole purpose of an unlawful conversion, that court has the power to just declare the entire marriage null and void. Gone. Okay, so what happens if these new rules are broken? Well, the consequences are, let's just say, they're severe. Let's take a look at the penalties we're talking about here. Yeah, we're talking serious prison time. A first-time offense could get you up to 7 years in jail. But if you're convicted a second time, that sentence can stretch all the way to a decade behind bars. And it's not just jail time. There are some hefty financial penalties too. The fines get bigger for repeat offenses, going all the way up to a maximum of 7 lakh rupees. But the penalties aren't one size fits all. A general unlawful conversion has a pretty big penalty, sure, but look at this. The fine jumps up 5 times to 5 lakh rupees if the conversion involves a minor, a woman, or if it's part of what the law calls a mass conversion. Now, this legal jargon here is really, really important. When an offense is called cognizable, it means the police can arrest someone without needing a warrant. And making it non-bailable means getting out of jail before trial isn't an automatic right. A court has to grant it, which makes it much, much harder for the accused. So all of this begs the question, what is the government's official reason for bringing in such a strict, far-reaching law at this particular moment? The main argument coming right from the top is that this is all about public order. The government's position is that some types of conversions are causing social unrest and, as they put it, affecting social harmony. So their line of thinking is basically this. We're seeing a rise in people being forced to convert, and our current laws just aren't strong enough to deal with the problems that come from it. So in their eyes, this new bill is the tool they need to fix it. As you can probably imagine, a law that touches on things like faith, family, and marriage has set off a huge public debate. It really pits the power of the state against our individual freedoms. And you can really break this whole debate down into 2 completely opposing camps. On one side, the government says, hey, this is a protective shield, it's to protect vulnerable people, stop coercion, and keep the peace. But on the other side, civil society groups are saying, whoa, hold on. This is a tool that crushes personal freedom, lets the state spy on its citizens, and could easily be used to target minority groups. And this quote from a civil rights activist really captures the #1 fear of people who are against the bill. It's this idea that the government is inserting itself into incredibly personal decisions that they argue should be completely free from state interference. And the criticisms get even more specific. Opponents are worried this could be used to harass consenting adults in interfaith marriages. They fear it might encourage vigilante groups to take matters into their own hands. Plus, they argue the government hasn't actually shown any hard data that a law this strict is even necessary, not to mention the practical headaches and new paperwork it creates. So, at the end of the day, the Maharashtra Freedom of Religion Bill isn't just about a new set of rules. It's really a flashpoint for a much, much bigger question. It forces us all to have a really tough conversation about the delicate balance between the state's job to keep order and our fundamental right to personal freedom and choice. And that is a line that's never easy to draw.
You can download the complete notes of this video from the pinned comment below. If this video helped, do like and subscribe to the BriefCase for daily visual explanations.